All right, so for 9.3 number 17, I have this funny triangle where they told me that, oh, I have a right triangle. Yeah?
Not funny at all.
It's not funny at all, that's right. And it has angles theta and phi and 90 degrees. And then the hypotenuse is 2, and the side across from theta is y. And then they want me to calculate a bunch of stuff, right? Like, what's the cosine of theta minus phi? What's the cosine of theta minus the cosine of phi? What's the sine of theta minus phi? And what's the sine of theta plus phi? Which all seems like an awful lot of work, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so first things first, what's the other side of the triangle?
4 minus y squared. Square root. Yeah.
4 minus y squared square root?
Yeah.
Why?
Because Pythagorean theorem.
Because the Pythagorean theorem is a thing? Why is the Pythagorean theorem allowed on this triangle?
It's right triangle.
Because it's a right triangle. Okay, so this should answer one of these questions quite easily. Which one is the easiest of the questions I was asked?
C.
Why is C the easiest question?
Because you don't have to use the sum or
Yeah, because you can just calculate the cosine of theta, right?
difference. Yeah.
What's the cosine of theta?
Square root of 4 minus y squared over 2.
Should be the adjacent over the hypotenuse, right? Okay, so that's the square root of 4 minus y squared all over 2. And then I should subtract. Cosine of phi is
Y over 2.
y over 2. Check, done.
Top one you have to
Combine like terms.
You could,
Yeah. Top one that you have to use the
yeah, I think for part A I need the sum of angles identity. Or for cosine, applied to theta and minus phi. Or you need the difference of angles identity. I don't care which one you use. I'm going to use the sum of angles identity because I'm bad at remembering the other one. So this should be cosine of theta times
cosine of theta.
cosine of,
P. No?
not quite.
Uh,
Yes, in the end it is,
Theta
but
minus phi.
right now it should be
Theta
minus phi, right?
Oh, because it normally is plus. So.
You guys all see that? And that's really because I'm doing this with cosine of theta plus negative phi.
Okay. Alright, so then it's minus sine of theta
And then I have minus sine of theta,
times sine of negative phi.
sine of minus phi. Boy, guys. You just make a roar on the camera.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Right out.
Talk quieter.
Yeah.
All right, so cosine of minus phi is
Negative cosine. No. Just cosine.
just cosine of phi because
Because cosines can disregard the negative sign on the inside because it's in even.
yeah, because cosine's even, right? So this is cosine of theta times cosine of phi
And then
minus,
you could pull out, you could do plus sine of phi.
and then you can pull this negative sign out and get plus sine of theta sine of phi
Yeah.
because sine is odd. So that was kind of exploiting even and oddness. And now I can plug in the bits. Right? Cosine of theta is something I know about. So cosine of theta was that
You have
square
it.
root of 4 minus y squared over 2. And the cosine of phi was
Y over 2.
y over 2.
It's right next to you.
Yeah, it's right next to me. I did those already. And then I need a plus, and the sine of theta is
The Y over. No. Yeah.
the sine of theta is the opposite from theta is a y
Over 2.
So I would
Over
say
2.
over the hypotenuse is 2.
Yeah.
And then I need times the sine of phi,
Which is also.
which
Whoa.
seems really familiar, right?
What? Okay. So
You guys
that's why,
see
and
that?
that's why it's an identity. Identity.
So what's up there is that those two things are,
Equal. No.
these two guys are complementary angles, right?
Yeah.
They both add up to 90 degrees together.
Yeah.
And so there's a little bit of weirdness with their sines and cosines. Specifically, the cosine of phi
It's the same as
is going to be the sine of theta.
Right.
Right, they basically just switch roles.
Hmm.
So you could exploit that a little bit in getting these next two. Or you could just do what I've been doing. So there's your answer for part A. Oh, except I could simplify that a lot, right? That's just 2 times this stuff.
Yeah.
So you could also simplify this to, cross that out quick. Simplify to square root of 4 minus y squared times y over 2. They were over 4s, right? And there were 2 of them, so I got to cancel the 2.
Very nice.
Cool. Questions there? You guys do the other 2. They should be basically the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing, just with the law.
So use the sum of angles identity for sine and sine. This one applied to
the actual.
actual sum of angles, and this one applied to
Just plus minus.
sine of theta plus minus phi. And then crank on the same idea.
See.
Cool. Questions, Steele? Stuckman?